You're told the wet sprocket on Magic. I think everything outside's wet right now, whether it's a sprocket or not. We've got some storms in our listening area, 63 degrees. The National Weather Service, along with the Fairbanks Museum, saying that some of these storms could be quite severe today. So keep that in mind for your travels. And flash flood warnings for some areas. So if you come across a flooded road, turn around, don't drown, okay? Safety first. And that's actually a perfect lead-in to good policies with Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency in St. Jay. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm happy I'm inside, that's for sure. Wow. No
I
kidding.
don't know. Nothing's a guarantee with this weather, huh?
No way. It is storming to beat the band out here. I mean, really hard rain, some loud thunder, and bright lightning. Like I said, I'm glad I'm inside. Mike, by the way, Mike Barrett, together with his wife Jan, own and operate with family and friends, Barrett Insurance Agency in Portland Street in St. Jay. They join us here every Tuesday morning. We talk about insurance policies. Mike, something we haven't talked about recently, okay? And we've talked about a lot to have good insurance policies, have good coverage at the right price and such. You always hear you should shop around every once in a while. I think it's been close to a year since we talked about this. When should people, consider, well, I haven't checked on my insurance policy in a while. When should folks do that?
Sure. So, I wouldn't recommend anyone shop every year. That may be a little overdone, but every 3 to 5 years, not a bad thing. Now, not even a necessary thing that you should have to shop and look for different insurance companies necessarily. Really what you want to do is you want to be with a company, number one, that you're comfortable with. You want to be with somebody who you feel like has your back should a loss occur. Number two, of course, is price. A lot of people make the mistake of putting price first. Price is certainly in the top three, but don't always put price ahead of everything. But most importantly, is if you've had your coverage for many years, let's talk about more than 3 to 5 years. Insurance companies introduce new coverage options every so often. No rhyme or reason in timing. It has to, normally it's a follow the leader type of thing where one insurance company decides to innovate and comes up with this great idea of, hey, we're going to add this type of coverage to our policies. And then a couple of other companies go, you know what, that's a good idea. We're going to start doing that too. So let's give you some examples. Let's talk about a homeowner policy first. So homeowner policy, if you've had it for many years, you may not know that a lot of companies have added service line coverage. We've talked about this in the past, but I'm just using it as an example. Service line coverage, what is that? Well, for me, my utilities that come from the power company and the phone company come underground from the pole. So from the roadside, there's a conduit, and that's where my line goes, and it goes under my driveway and feeds back up to my house. Do you know that if that fails, it's incumbent upon me to have to fix it? It's not the phone company. It's not the power company. It is me that has to fix that. Well, if I had service line coverage and that failed, and it doesn't have to be a named peril, it just has to have failed, I would have some coverage to fix that. Same can be held true for those who are on town water and sewer supplies. If you have a old clay piping that's coming to your house from the connection at the road, again, from the road to your house, not an issue for the town. That's not theirs. That's yours. Service line coverage would help you with that. So that's something that you really want to be thinking about. Okay, am I taking advantage and getting all these coverages? Maybe as simple as a phone call to your insurance agent saying, hey, look, are there any new coverage options available? Are there things that I could be taking advantage of or things that I'm missing by not having? That would certainly be one of them.
Mike,
there's some, yes.
Excuse me for jumping in here. I'd like to ask you, okay, because the way you're describing the service line, for some of our listeners out there, you said that it's the underground from roadside to your residence. Now, is it also considered a service line if it's like a more traditional hanging wire or anything like that, like from pole to pole?
The beauty of those is that is utility-owned all the way to your house. When it's above ground, you are not responsible for it. That is going to be handled by the utility. But the second that it's buried, it changes. So that's why service line coverage may not be a necessary thing for everybody. But even if you have a septic system, you could have feasibly some connection issues going out. That'd be something that could trigger a claim and some coverage for you as well. So good question, by the way. So some other things that are available would be liability coverage for if you have a tractor and you decide you're going to go help out a neighbor. Is that something that was on your policy that you're aware of? Is there coverage for your tractor? Do companies offer that? That's something to think about. What if you've acquired things over time? What if you decided that Kingdom Trails is your playground and you have gone out and bought a $5,000 mountain bike? And believe me, that's not even an expensive one if you're a diehard mountain biker. That's a lot of money for all of us. And how is that going to be covered on your policy? Well, you can always look to see if you can specifically list that. So, even beyond the world of shopping and looking to make sure you have best price, as your world evolves, as your world changes, it's good to have those things in mind so you can have a dialogue and you can make sure that you are properly covered and not caught off guard if something happens. Now, on the auto side of things, a couple of quick examples as well. Insurance companies have decided that they like to bundle different things or give you some different options with comprehensive coverage. Now, comprehensive coverage on an auto insurance policy covers fire, theft, vandalism, impact with animals, falling objects, the list goes on and on. It's comprehensive, right? Also covers glass. Well, if you have a deductible for comprehensive, that deductible gets applied to your glass loss. Many companies over the past couple of years have introduced an offering called a glass deductible waiver. So you could have that and have a $0 glass deductible on your policy. So let's say, for example, you have a glass loss. You find out that you have a $500 deductible, and you go, man, I didn't realize I had that. And then your insurance agent says, oh, did you know we could modify that to give you a waiver and make it so you pay nothing out of pocket? So these are all things to be thinking of. So, I always quote the old Ron Popeil thing, it's never a set it and forget it. Things change, innovations happen on the insurance side, and your life changes on your side, and it's about keeping those things in contact so you're taking full advantage.
Well, it all makes good sense, and as you've always mentioned in our weekly chats, Mike, you have to have the conversation, have the dialogue. Tell them how they can do that with you.
Sure. You can give us a call, 748-5224. We're located on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. You can also find us online, thebarrettagency.com, where you can get a free home or auto quote. Also, you can find us on Google, Facebook, and YouTube, Barrett Insurance Agency, and we post these conversations on all of our sites. So if you miss one or you're suffering from insomnia, you can always tune back in.
I like that, suffering from insomnia. More fun than counting sheep, that's for sure. Folks, Mike Barrett with his wife Jen from Barrett Insurance Agency checking in with us with good policies. Mike, stay safe, okay?
You as well. Stay low.
We will. Stay low and no umbrellas.
I'm going to take my kite down now.
There you go. All right. Magic in the Morning, and the music continues with Leslie.